Welcome to the InsMark Business Valuator webinar. My name is Don Pren. I will be your host for this meeting along with John Hallinan, Manager of Sales and Business Development with BizEquity. We're here to talk to you about the InsMark Business Valuator powered by BizEquity's valuation engines. And we're going to break this webinar into three main sections. The first section, we're going to talk about the opportunity. Second section, we'll talk about how to use the actual InsMark Business Valuator website. The third section is what insurance and investment products will the InsMark Business Valuator help you sell. Now, I'm going to talk for about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. And what you're going to find, I think, is that this is a very unique opportunity and something that is very new to the marketplace. You're also going to find that the website is extremely easy to use. So let's jump right in and talk about the opportunity. How can the InsMark Business Valuator help you generate new sales to existing clients and also drive referrals? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why business valuation is so important. Here's Warren Buffett talking about how business valuation is the heart of investment and risk management. And then he says something really important. Without it, you are blind. We're going to come back to this concept here in a bit, but let's remember this statement. Without business valuation, you are blind. Now, let's look at the size of the market opportunity. There are 250 million small businesses worldwide, 30 million small businesses in the United States. Yet 75% of U.S. businesses do not know what they're worth, and 50% of small businesses are underinsured. 7.7 million businesses will change hands over the next 10 years, representing over $10 trillion in value. Finally, the Small Business Administration has cited valuation of one's own business as one of the top 2 challenges facing small business owners. So, how do we reconcile this? On the one hand, we have Warren Buffett and the SBA talking about how crucial it is for business owners to know the value of their business. Then we see 75% of business owners don't know their value. So what's going on? Well, the biggest reason that small businesses don't know their value is that the cost has been too high and the process too complicated. I can personally attest to this. 2 years ago, I was one of the 2 majority partners in a closely held importing business, and we were working on a buyout. So we went out, we found a local business appraiser who valued our business. And we received a 20-page valuation report, and the cost was about $10,000. Well, for most small businesses, with a cost of $10,000 per valuation, the only time they're going to do a business valuation is when they were trying to sell. It's just too expensive any other time. Well, it's not $10,000 anymore. Now, with the InsMark Business Valuator powered by BizEquity, the cost is only $365. By using cloud-based technology, this new platform is completely changing the business valuation market in terms of what is possible and affordable to the underserved small business market. Just like what was done by Zillow with home appraisal and LegalZoom for basic legal documents. In calculating each company's business valuation, BizEquity's valuation engines use data from more than 17 million businesses, giving them information that is far more comprehensive than the local business appraiser. Now, let's get back to Warren Buffett's comment about without business valuation, you are blind in trying to run your business. And why is the SBA saying that business valuation is one of the top 2 challenges facing small business? To answer this, let me ask you a question. If cost were no object, when is the best time to value your business? Is the answer when you are getting ready to sell the business? No, that's the worst time, and let me explain. The best time to value a business is monthly or quarterly. So why do I say this? Because the most important reason to do business valuation is to use it as a strategic planning tool for the business on an ongoing basis. In other words, you use business valuation to value the business today, yes, but also to put in hypothetical changes in the business to see how the value would increase or decrease tomorrow. In other words, the business valuation platform should be used as a way to test different strategies and see what the marketplace would pay you if you made certain types of changes. And this is the key to increased insurance and investment sales. For example, let's say you have a business that is highly dependent upon the owner's continued involvement. You can run one valuation that shows this current situation. Then run the same valuation where the business is not dependent on the owner at all. You can then instantly see how much the market will increase the value of this business as a result of this change. So maybe the business increases in value from $4 million to $5 million as a result. That's a big deal. Now you can introduce planning strategies using insurance and investment products that will help reduce the business's reliance on the owner over time, in turn increasing the value of the company. Here's another example. What's the impact of the business if we increase sales? Well, that all depends on each type of business. With the InsMark Business Valuator, you can make a sales increase assumption and then instantly see how that would impact the overall value of the business. So maybe with one type of business, if we increase top-line sales by 20%, we double the equity value of the business. If we know that, then what is the value of putting in place non-qualified benefit plans for top salespeople so they don't go across the street and start competing with our client? You can't know the answers to these questions unless you do these real-time business valuations. Or said another way, if you can offer these real-time valuations, you have a powerful tool that will help your business clients increase the value of their companies through the purchase of insurance and investment products from you. Until now, this real-time business valuation has never been available to the small business operator. It's just been too expensive. And this brings me to the most valuable part of this new valuation service, which is the fact that the $365 is not for a one-time business valuation. Instead, the $365 is for a full one-year subscription for that one business account, where you can run as many valuations as you want on that business, find what-if scenarios, and then delivering those different scenarios to your client. In that way, the InsMark Business Valuator becomes a strategic planning tool for you and your business clients. All that said, the majority of business owners are not going to sign up for this type of valuation service on their own. Like me, most closely held business owners, those that are not public and do not have to get audited financial statements every year, are conditioned to think that you only get your business valued when you're ready to sell it. Make no mistake, real-time cloud-based business valuation will rapidly become one of the most crucial services provided by financial advisors, and virtually all small business owners need financial advisors that can show them how business valuation is now affordable, and also how insurance and investment products can increase their equity value and reduce their business and personal risks. The advisors that do this are going to have a massive advantage in selling insurance and financial products to business owners. And one of the reasons for this has to do with client referrals. In addition to going to every business client you have now and offering this service, the InsMark Business Valuator will also give you a powerful new way to convince existing clients to refer their friends that own businesses to you. Why do I say this? The explosion in social media has provided an unprecedented amount of data on why people share information with their friends. In other words, why does one video have 100 million views and another video have almost none? Well, in studying social media, it turns out there is a relatively short list of reasons why people share information with their friends. And here are 3 of those reasons that are particularly relevant to this conversation. I refer my friends to you because it makes me feel generous. I feel smart alerting others to what I've discovered. I care about someone, and this idea will make them happier or healthier. If you give your current business clients the authority to offer this service to one or more of their friends who also own businesses, we think this new valuation service meets all 3 of the reasons why people share information. It makes them feel generous, they will feel smart alerting others to what they've discovered, they care about someone, and this idea will make their friend happier or healthier. And if we're right, this is a monster lead generation opportunity for introductions to new business owners. And this is the reason that Bob Ritter says, in over 50 years in the life insurance and financial services industry, I have never seen a prospecting idea as good as this one. Now I promise in just a minute I'm going to walk you through the InsMark Business Valuator website so you can see exactly how it works. The website is extremely easy to use. If you have a basic understanding of income statements, and balance sheets, you will get up to speed on this website in less than 10 minutes. But before we get into that, I want to address the credibility of the InsMark Business Valuator platform, which is powered by the BizEquity valuation engines. So why is BizEquity a credible business valuation platform? On their board of directors, Clarence Davis, he's the chairman of BizEquity. He's the former CFO of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Pete Musser was one of the early investors in Novell and Comcast. Michael Abbott was the vice president of engineering for Twitter and is now with Kleiner Perkins, which is one of the largest venture capital funds in Silicon Valley. Admiral Tom Lynch is also on their board. On their advisory board, they have executives from Intuit, Info Group, Siemens, and then Dun & Bradstreet. What experts are saying, USA Today, check out bizequity.com. The simple 7-step process on this site is a great tool. Colliers, this is an important quote. BizEquity is democratizing data to the small business market. What prospects and partners are saying, Dun & Bradstreet. BizEquity represents the future of business data. It is self-reported, forward-indicating, and growth-oriented. Intuit, makers of QuickBooks. BizEquity is the whole startup. You are doing important, cool, and market-leading stuff. And then finally, from Experian, we created a small business marketplace online to help develop awareness that we are more than a data company. We chose BizEquity as one of the 2 partners in this initiative, and we are very pleased with their product and service to us. Julie Chang, Director of Online Marketing and Experian. It's clear that the InsMark Business Valuator powered by BizEquity is a credible valuation platform. This new platform is a game changer for the insurance and financial advisor, especially as it pertains to those businesses with a market cap up to $25 million. One warning on this. What's the value of being the second person to introduce this new cloud-based business valuation service to your business clients? The value is essentially zero. You've got to be the first one to get to your business clients and introduce this new concept to them. There is nothing for coming in second place. Now, I'd like to take a few minutes and show you how to get to the InsMark Business Valuator website. So the first thing that we're going to do, so we're now going to go into, we've covered the opportunity. Now we're going to actually show you how easy it is to use this valuation platform and this website. You start at insmark.com. So what you're seeing now is the insmark.com homepage. And as you see the images, you can click around and see different images. Those are called slider images or slider graphics. One of those has a picture of Warren Buffett. And so you can either click on Warren Buffett or anywhere in that box, or you can go down and click where it says InsMark Business Valuator. Go ahead, Shane. Thank you. So we clicked on the InsMark Business Valuator, and then now we're at the InsMark Business Valuator homepage. Now I've already entered in a case, so I'm going to put in my email address and my password and log in. All right. And so we're waiting for it to bring up this case. I apologize for the delay. We've had some internet, our cable provider has had some interruption in service the last couple of days, so hopefully we won't have a break here. I can assure you this has nothing to do with the InsMark Business Valuator website or BizEquity. It has to do with the internet connection. Well, let's just give it another minute. I promise it was working 10 minutes ago when we tested it. Okay, good. Well, that's good. Okay, so now Acme forward, and we're going to click on Update Valuation, the little green button. Now, as you see across the top, you'll see there are 7 steps. Basic info, your business, income, assets, liability, growth, operations. So here we're at the basic info screen. So it asks for the company name, in this case Acme Ford. Now this is asking for the type of business, and if you type in the type of business, the system automatically pulls from thousands of different NAIC codes and finds what NAIC code matches your business. So we're a new car dealer in this case, and we put in our zip code and then continue. So that's the first step, first screen. Second screen, your business. Our client is George and Marie Grove. We have the address, email. We go down and ask for the type of business. This was an LLC, what type of tax form, 1065, number of employees, 100, date established, and so on. Now, this is a crucial section here. Please select your reasons for running evaluation. So here we have, they can click seeking equity funding, seeking debt financing, estate planning, looking to sell my business, looking to buy a business, insurance and risk planning, accounting preparation, 409 valuation, just curious. So this is an excellent way to uncover some of the things that the client may be concerned about or interested in learning more about. So let's save and continue, and we'll go to step 3, which is the third screen. This is the income and expenses screen, and you'd get this off the income statement for the business. And again, we're showing 3 years, 2013, 2012, and 2011. You can see on this particular car dealership business, they have $25 million in sales. It's a very low margin business, 4 or 5% gross margin. So the sales tend to be higher, but the margins are very low. Pre-tax income is $1 million. Officer compensation, $375,000. Interest expense, $225,000. Non-cash expenses, $200,000. It's kind of nice. If you put the cursor over the little note, it tells you what it's asking for. Then one-time non-operating losses, one-time gains, I put those at 0. So again, I'm pulling all of these numbers straight off the income statement for the last 3 years. Let's save and continue. Now we're on the assets screen, which is the fourth step. And again, we're going to get all these numbers straight from the balance sheet. We have cash, accounts receivable, $400,000, inventory, $1.2 million, other assets, $100,000, fixed assets, $500,000, intangible assets, $300,000. Let's save and continue. Step 5 is the liabilities. Again, from the balance sheet, we have accounts payable, other short-term liabilities, our long-term debt, and then our contingent liabilities, which has to do with pending litigation. So let's save and continue. Okay, so we're now through 5 of the 7 screens. The 6th screen is talking about growth, and then there's these sliders that you can move back and forth, which allow you to change, for example, projected revenue growth, long-term EBITDA margin. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that term, EBITDA simply means the cash flow of the business before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, meaning the cash flow of the business before expenses that don't really affect the actual operational cash flow that is thrown off by the business. So it's a really important number because it tells us sort of what the business is actually doing in terms of profit every year. Percent of business recurring. Obviously, the more business you have recurring, the more valuable the business. Let's save and continue. Oh, last question. Go back one if you could. And then it asks, do you have intellectual property, including trade secrets and patents? So save and continue. Last screen, operations. What percentage of sales comes from your top 3 customers? Obviously, if you have a lot of sales with few customers, that creates concentration risk, and the marketplace will value your business at a lower number. What percentage of your business is conducted online? The more of your business that's online, the more valuable your business, because typically online business has no collection and has a faster and lower capital requirement because there's no receivables flow. Next question, if the owner of the business left, how would your profits and revenues be impacted? Now, right now, we've said that it remains the same. Let's go all the way over to a lot of businesses where if the owner left, the profits and revenues would plummet. And what I want you to notice is the value of this business went from $5 million to $3,971,000. There was a $1 million loss as a result of this business having a crucial need of the owner's ongoing involvement. That should be very interesting to everyone that is looking at this from the perspective of insurance and investment products that can help over time eliminate the dependence of the business on the owner. Next question, does your current life or key person insurance coverage and risk management program cover the business valuation quotation above? Yes or no? Obviously, examining that. Do you rent or own? In this case, they're renting their real estate facilities and then monthly rent, square footage. All right, let's advance. Very, very sophisticated business, large business. As long as we have the income statement and balance sheet, we're able to get through this in a few minutes. And then as you can see, you can download the valuation report, which is a 23-page color report. And what I'm going to do, when you download that, it creates a PDF. So I'm going to go over to my PDF reader, which is Adobe, and I'm going to put it in viewer mode. Let's go home, get to the very beginning. And this is the cover sheet of the report that is created by the system. So here's your cover sheet. You have your table of contents, purpose of the valuation, a little more on that, the methodology, a little more information about the business. Now, here it talks about, it ran through 4 different business valuation methodologies: asset sale, equity sale, enterprise value, and liquidation value. For most businesses under $25 million, you're going to focus on either an asset sale or an equity sale. Typically, enterprise value is for businesses in the middle market, which would be $50 million on up until you get to large cap. And then liquidation value really doesn't apply. That has to do with bankruptcy. So asset sale and equity sale get the seller the same net amount. It's just that with an asset sale, the seller has to pay their debt on their own. So don't let this confuse you. They're not getting $6.6 million versus $5 million. They're getting $6.6 million and then having to pay $1.6 million in debt. But it is interesting. Most small cap transactions get done as asset sales because the buyers don't want the skeletons of the just buying flat out the equity from the seller, and would rather just buy the assets cleanly and let the seller pay off their own debt. But again, this explains that it analyzes it from a number of different perspectives. And I'll mention to you the $10,000 valuation that I got did exactly the same thing. The only thing I would say is that this presentation is far better than the one I paid for. And here you have, again, one key point on this. Again, this is a 23-page report, and the balance of the report then walks you through approximately 20 key performance indicators, everything from debt ratios to fixed asset turnover and a number of other things. And what it does is, go ahead and advance. Let's stop there. You can see here's a few key performance indicators, and the valuation report will tell you if your client's business is either underperforming, average for their industry, or outperforming. So it's a tremendous management tool for the client. We can advance, and go ahead and advance through, and you can just kind of see. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because it would just take too long. But I think you can see this is an A+ quality report for your client. So let's I guess the last point I want to emphasize before we go to the final section of this, where we talk about the life insurance and investment opportunities that this then will create, is I've been involved in this industry. I was Bob Ritter's first employee back in 1984. I was president of InsMark for a number of years. I have never seen an idea like this that is as new as this is. In other words, no one knows about this yet, and yet has the impact that it could potentially have with your business clients and the people they refer you to that also own businesses. I've just never seen it. I've seen a lot of great ideas. This one stands alone. So let me, now that we've covered kind of the opportunity, we've talked about how the website works, let's talk a little bit about what product needs are likely to be uncovered when doing these valuations. Potential sales opportunities. Okay, and I guarantee you I've missed a half a dozen, but at least here's a start. Retirement planning, buy-sell funding, business continuation succession, key person retention strategies, estate planning, disability income. Now, let's just take a look at the first item, retirement planning. So first, I'm going to go to InsMark.com. Let's go over to the InsMark.com website. Okay, so I'm back to InsMark.com. We're going to talk about how does business valuation help us with retirement planning. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to click, see that there, that's Robert Ritter Jr. blog. That's Bob Ritter's blog. So we're going to click on that. And let me just say, this is Bob's blog that comes out every week. And Bob devotes each week's blog on a specific sales idea for selling cash value life insurance. We couldn't find anything else in the industry like this. And if you're not currently subscribing to this blog from Bob, I highly, highly recommend it. It's just, again, you can see blog number 41. This is the 41st blog. And you can go into the archives and look at the first 40. But just great sales ideas every week from Bob. So anyway, if you scroll down, I'm going to show you how to subscribe to this so that it automatically comes to your email, and then you can, it'll remind you that it's there. So here's the subscribe section. You put in your email, and it takes 2 seconds. In any event, that's how you subscribe to the blog. But let's go back to the top. Now, this blog number 41 is the first blog we're doing on the InsMark Business Valuator, and we're going to do a series. Bob's going to do a series of these. The next 4 or 5 weekly blogs are going to be all about the sales opportunities that are created when you do business valuation with the InsMark Business Valuator. So this first blog, blog number 41, if we sell our business, can we afford to retire, uses the $5 million valuation from Acme Ford, the one we just ran through. And now that we know the value of the business, we can now do a retirement planning analysis using InsMark's Wealthy and Wise software system that does retirement planning. Now, as we saw earlier, the InsMark Business Valuator is a fantastic first step in getting information about the client's business. Then, once the business valuation is done, it's a pretty easy segue to say, now we know your business value. Would you like to see what retirement cash flow and your estate would look like if you sold the business today? Would you like to see what all of this hard work combined with your other assets mean in terms of if you sold the business today, what would your retirement look like and what would your estate look like over time? The obvious answer from the client is yes. And that then gets us the remaining information that we need to do the retirement needs analysis with the Wealthy and Wise software. So what I'm going to do is just have Shane show a little bit of this blog. We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but I'm just go ahead and scroll down and just show them. This is the blog explaining the business valuation, explaining the client's other assets, and then doing the retirement needs analysis using Wealthy and Wise and showing the client, if you sold your business today, here's your retirement income you'd have, here's the estate you'd leave, here are some different assumptions that we can do. So that, please on your own, look at that blog very carefully because I think it'll give you some great planning ideas. Again, just for the first item, let's go back to the PowerPoint if we could. This is only on the retirement planning opportunity. By doing the valuation, it sets the table to get the rest of the information that's needed from the business owner to do a full retirement planning analysis and then start making recommendations on how to use cash value insurance in place of other investments to improve results, leave more money to heirs or charity. In addition, you can recommend other insurance products. So again, they can accomplish different things within that retirement planning subset. But we've just covered retirement planning. we now have opportunities in all of these other areas and many that I haven't listed. So one last thing before I leave the retirement planning discussion. Can you do an accurate retirement planning analysis for a business owner unless you first know what their business is worth? The answer is no, you can't. It has to be step number one with a client that owns a business. I think really more than any other tool that we've seen, the InsMark Business Valuator puts you in a trusted advisory role with business clients. So we're basically at the end of this presentation. We've talked about the opportunity. I've shown you the software platform. We've now talked about one opportunity for product sales through this being the stepping stone to a comprehensive retirement planning analysis for the business owner. Now let me tell you a little bit about how you buy this, the pricing, and a special that we're offering today. So if you buy one company account at a time, which is a one-year subscription, the cost is $365. And then if you put in the promo code InsMark, and you can put it in, all small or all large or all caps, it works regardless. There's a 5% discount, and the price for one company for 1 year is $347. Now, we went to BizEquity and we said, look, we want to figure out a way where our clients can get an even deeper discount, where if they wanted to actually just provide it for free to their business clients, that might work. And so we came up with the following pricing. If you buy 20 company accounts, one-year subscriptions all at once, the price is approximately $3,000. You get your 5% discount with the promo code. Net cost of $2,845. That works out to $142 per company account. And I guess the way we're looking at that is that's essentially the cost of taking that business client to dinner. That's a price at which you could justify making that part of your overall service and not even charging the business client anything. So, let me just show you on the website. That's fine. Let me show you on the website how you get to this purchase area. So again, we're going to go to the InsMark Business Valuator, and if you see, we're going to log out. This is what you're going to see. You see the sign up button? You click there, and then here is where you fill in your information, and there's the promo code. And then you can either buy the premium service, $365, which is the one at a time, or the professional service, which is 20 at a time. And one last thing I'll mention, and then we'll open it up for some questions. If you are an IMO or an insurance company and you want to provide this on a private label basis to a large group of agents, let me know, or you talk to either me or David Grant, and we can help you with how you can build this for on a private label basis and how we can help you with that. The other thing I want to make a very important point is that we are at InsMark, we're going to be creating some case studies, sales illustrations, fact finders, and other support material that will be available to our customers. And I guess the point I'm making is we are looking at this business valuation platform really from your perspective, from the perspective of the insurance and financial advisors, with particular emphasis on cash value life insurance. So we're going to be, on an ongoing basis, providing you with support and service that help identify opportunities for sales of those products. Julie, I'd like to open up for questions, and I think, John, you had something you wanted to talk about as well, as far as maybe an additional special that you might be willing to offer.
John?
Yes,
do you want to talk about the additional discount before I unmute people to ask questions?
Yeah, John, do we have you there?
Don, yeah, how are you? Good afternoon, everyone. Don has done a tremendous job of representing InsMark and BizEquity and this partnership. We're thrilled to be in partnership with InsMark, and today we wanted to say thank you for the attendees for checking us out, and in fellowship with InsMark, we wanted to offer a 25% off promo code where if you go to the sign-up sheet, you select the professional service, which is the 20-pack, and you enter INS Demo 25. Your cost is now going to be $22.47, which you're going to be able to do the valuation for under $115 per company. Don did a fabulous job explaining the service. We tried to make it hooked on phonics valuation, and in steps 3 through 5, when you're going through the demo, if you have any trouble whatsoever with entering the numbers, if you would hover above the Learn More button, a live chat agent would come on and assist you. So sorry, Don, for hijacking, but tremendous job today.
Not at all, John. Thank you so much. I think just to cap what you're saying, the normal price is $365, one at a time, which is fine, and the 5% discount, which always applies. We negotiated a deal where if you bought 20, you could get them for $2,850, $142 a piece. With what they're doing now, it's essentially $110 a piece for 20 company subscriptions. And so, and John, again, how long is that good for?
It's good until it'll expire next Friday. So, we wanted to give the incentive to people who decided to jump aboard, learn about the product today, and, to get them jump-started with us. The offer's good through next Friday.
Julie, do you want to open it up for question and answers if there are any?
Yes. So the first person I'm going to unmute is Michael Wood. Michael, you can ask your questions now.
Okay, thank you. I was very interested in the presentation. Actually, I've used business valuation for more than 30 years, really along the same premise. But not anywhere near these prices. The lowest and the best values we could find were still at a minimum of $3,000 to $4,000 each. And there were kind of eyebrows around those, depending on whether or not they thought they were really getting a valuation they could use. One of the questions I had was whether or not this kind of arrangement would be considered an outside business activity and need to be approved by a BD. That was one. Second one was whether or not this valuation would pass muster if it were being done for an employee stock ownership plan or an ESOP for a small company.
And John, if you would you mind taking those on?
Surely. To both questions, the beauty of our system, as Don had illustrated before, it's all end-user data generated. So, if you think about the credibility of evaluation, if you're entering, if it's garbage in, it's garbage out. As long as
right.
The numbers entered are correct, the valuation will be correct. Also,
okay.
if you wanted a certified offline valuation, we have the foremost expert in this space, Scott Gabehart, on our staff, who for a fraction of the full valuation price can certify what's been run through the InsMark Valuator.
So I'm not sure I understand that particular comment. Are you saying that these would be, I guess, for lack of these aren't certified valuations, and if we wanted one that was certified, that there would be additional fees and people available for that?
Yeah, we have the capability to do that, but our system is end-user generated data. So all the information put through the system is from the end user, and the valuation will be as credible as the information is.
Okay,
Does that
so
make sense?
in this instance, the end user would be the agent or the individual that's purchasing the package from you. Is that right?
Absolutely.
It's not the business owner. So
No.
in that context, are there any issues around any liabilities or E&O coverage issues that would need to be considered or looked at if we're going to really make this a part of our ongoing services and processes that we're presenting to our clients and the public?
Absolutely not, because of the fact that, it is end-user generated data. Our terms of use specifically spell that out, and it's on the bottom of every page of the report that's printed.
Okay. So that's basically saying you're providing the data, and it's as accurate as that data is, and we don't warrant any other facts about the valuation itself?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would just add one comment to that. I think it's an excellent question in terms of the agent's liability, and we're in discussions with a number of insurance companies about distribution of this, and the feedback that is coming back is, as long as that is clearly stated that this is not a verified valuation or one that can be relied on to go and borrow money or to establish valuation for estate planning purposes or the IRS. I mean, this is an estimate of value, and it should be disclaimed as such. So far, the feedback that we're getting back is that it's okay.
Okay.
But I do think you need to be clear with clients that this is not to be used as a certified valuation.
Okay. And so in that regard, if they want or think they need a certified valuation, you're saying that your firm or members of your firm do provide those. Is there any information about what that costs?
Yeah, I mean, you could go through BizEquity's website. All of that is, we have that all within the homepage. The fact of the matter is, as Don was saying about the 20-pack, you're providing to your client something that has never been available before for the small market business. When you think about valuation, it used to be a process that would take 4 to 6 weeks, cost between $7,500 and $10,000, done by a valuation expert in a back room using his secret sauce, which is a spreadsheet that he's had in his back pocket for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you would get, when the valuation was all said and done, you would get back one valuation, which was a snapshot of what your business was worth at a moment in time 4 to 6 weeks ago. With what we've done and what InsMark's providing to its agents through the website is a living, breathing document that can be used for scenario planning moving forward. And at a cost that, if you're assuming that, as Don had indicated, is less than taking your client to dinner one time, is providing them with something dynamic, of incredible value, and is an absolute game changer as far as the insurance sales and scenario planning is concerned.
On that point, if we run one of these through and then we want to look at scenarios, does that 365 include scenarios run, or is it another fee, or what? Is every scenario another plan?
No. So when it's companies that you have. So you will have 20 companies, and each company has a 365-day clock on it from the time you start your valuation. So if you want to go in, value a company, and then go back in and read that, print the PDF up, scenario number 1. Go back in, change the sales numbers. Print the PDF up, scenario number 2. Go back in. Go to tab 6. move the growth tab and the EBITDA tab around, scenario number 3, so on and so forth. You can do that for 20 companies. You have 365 days on each.
Okay.
Okay, Don, we have 4 or 5 more people who have questions.
Right.
So the next person who's going to be unmuted is Phil Gallant. You can speak now.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Great presentation, and once again, InsMark just never ceases to amaze me. You guys come up with something brilliant here. My question is, if we're not primarily in the business market, but I certainly see this as a door opener, is there some form of pre-approach letter, pre-approach marketing, some form of talking point, flip chart presentation to sit with a business owner and say, hey, have you ever thought of having this done? Or do you have to buy the valuation service for the company and then show it to them?
Don, you want me to jump on that?
Go ahead, and then I'd like to make a comment about it as well, but please go ahead.
So if you go to the home page for, the InsMark Business Valuator, you can print up a sample report.
Okay.
You can if you're looking for a talking point, you can take that sample report to a customer. Imagine if I could produce this for your business. Absolutely mind-blowing and a door opener. Or if you just had their public, public information about their business, and you chose to use them with the thought that you're going to go back and do a full valuation once you've landed them, you could walk in there and have an estimation of their business.
So, but that would use up one of my companies, would it not?
It absolutely would. But if you're using it as a prospecting tool, walking in with something that dynamic, with a thought, as Don had said, the only time people would get their businesses valued normally would be when they would have their business sold. That is the case, but it's also change of life situation. Someone in the business dies. There's a divorce. Someone's leaving the company. All of these scenarios are situations where you would have a valuation done where it would be forced. Right. You're walking into the client with the potential of, we can value you today and help you grow in this direction. And what I say when I'm selling, the 20 packs is not only can you sit there with a client and run the 20 pack, but you can also sit there and unpack the 20 pack with them. So not only do you have the incredible insurance opportunity, not only do you have the scenario planning opportunity, but you can also, bake in consulting costs of running the valuation and unpacking it with the client.
And Phil, this is Don. In listening to you talk, I think what you're saying is incredibly valuable. What I'm going to do next week is I will form a LinkedIn study group for InsMark Business Valuator users that I will lead, and anybody who wants to join may join. And what I would suggest to you is that that we all communicate through that LinkedIn group on things that you out in the field need that we can work on developing for you. And we are committed to this platform, and we're committed to it, again, not from a business valuation standpoint. We're committed to it from a how do we sell more cash value life insurance standpoint. And so through that study group and the feedback that you all provide to us, we will build resources that help you do what you've clearly explained you need.
Yeah, I see. I see a lot of utility for this. I've got 8 agents in my office. We primarily do retirement planning. We're big users of Wealthy and Wise. Yeah. So the Wealthy and Wise piece is not a problem, but the approaching business owners with this is where I'm going to need some help, and I think this is an unbelievable tool. And the only question second question I had is, if we went to a business owner, we did the valuation, and the point that was brought up prior to this was that if they needed a certified valuation, they would have to pay for that separately, would they not?
Yes, and I think that's something they'd have to pay for, and something that you could explore with Biz Equity, or something that they could get from a local CPA firm that does that type of work. that's really not what the goal of this platform is. But those certifications would absolutely be available, and I'll again let John comment on what they offer in that area.
Okay, but let me just ask this question. I happen to be going through this very issue with my own company right now, where I talked to my CPA about getting a valuation, and he was kind of stumbling and fumbling. He's going to refer me to a business valuation consultant who he said was going to charge me at a minimum $5,000 to $10,000 for my to evaluate my company.
Sure.
And am I correct in understanding that if my accountant could he certify one of these if he agreed with the numbers? If it was his client and we ran this and the accountant signed off on it, does that then become a certified valuation?
John?
Yeah, no, I mean, he has to be, a certified valuation expert. But, you would get the exact numbers from, you would get numbers that were even more explanatory by running, if your accountant has all your figures, which he obviously does, by running the numbers through this process, not only give you the 4 valuation figures, but also, as Don had showed you, gives you 30 KPIs as well.
30 what?
30 KPIs?
Key performance indicators.
Oh, okay. And I'm thinking of having the discussion with him for his, we have a pretty good relationship for bringing this to his other clients.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I think the question is, and I think it's a good question, I'm curious what you think about this, John, is he's saying, look, if we run the business valuation using InsMark Business Valuator, we print the 23-page color report, we go walk into the client CPA who is certified to do business valuation, is it possible that that individual could review this and certify it independently? That's what he's asking.
That's exactly what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's if he's certified, then he could certify it himself. Absolutely.
But a CPA is not automatically able to do that without a business certification of some sort. He has to be certified another way to do this. A business valuation certification.
Normally certified business valuation experts.
So just being a CPA does not give him that authority.
No.
Okay. Well, I think it's a great tool. I know from my own situation, it has to do with purchasing some buy-sell insurance for us, and I mean, I would use it exactly the way you guys have designed it because I'm not selling my company, but I can see the value for my company right now because I'm having a meeting on this on Monday.
Absolutely, and Phil, is the LinkedIn, because I'm only thinking of that now, but it just came to me, is a LinkedIn study group for the InsMark Business Valuator something that you would participate in?
It depends on when it is and how long it takes, and I've got so much stuff going on. It depends how much time it's going to take and when you do it.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Let me be clear. It wouldn't be scheduled times. It would simply be people communicating through the LinkedIn group with text messages.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I just think it's a way for us to have communication about this, about what resources you need.
Yes.
So look out for that, because I'll do it if you think it has value.
Oh, I absolutely think it has a value, tremendous value.
I'm not planning on scheduling any meetings. It is all like email.
Great. No, I think that'd be fine.
Great.
The next person on the question key is Danny Grady.
Yes, I'm in a community where the local health system is buying up doctors' practices. Would this be a valuable tool in helping the group practices and independent doctors value their practice, given it's a lot of dynamics going on now in the insurance field?
Yeah, absolutely. As as Don showed you in the demo, his demo was already started with this company. It's right underneath of where you put your business name. If you put in the search industry type, it'll automatically, if you have the NICS code, it'll map you right to it. But if not, most valuation experts have between 10 and 12,000 businesses that they'll map you to. We have over 18,000 and constantly updated. So whatever company you're looking for a valuation on, we have that. And not only that, you're going to be ranked, accordingly against 17 million other businesses, and that with 30 KPIs within your industry.
Okay, thanks.
I was just showing on the screen, I just put in a couple words, and there it is, offices of physicians. I don't, that might not be right, but at least I was able to come up with it pretty quick.
Thanks a lot.
You bet.
Don, also, if I could make a comment too, we're going to custom create a resource hub for InsMark, which is going to just be simple Q&A on how to use PhysEquity, who we are, commercials on it that specifically map towards what InsMark's selling, and we should have that up and ready by next Wednesday. So you can forward that along to the attendee list.
Boy, that sounds great. I didn't know anything about that. I think that'll be terrific.
Josh Martin. Josh, do you have a question?
Who?
Josh Martin.
This is John Martin.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, the name that shows up on the registered attendee is Josh Martin.
Oh.
But go ahead and ask your question. Thank you.
Do you have to be a InsMark registered member to use the business valuation piece?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can buy the InsMark Business Valuator and never buy anything else we sell.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
David Hartner. David Harder.
Hey, David.
David?
How we can go I was wondering how we can go about signing up for the LinkedIn project, and also, is there a time frame for the 20-pack before it expires?
Yes, I will send everyone next week an invitation, that everyone on this call, an invitation to the new LinkedIn study group for the InsMark Business Valuator. So you will just look for it in your email. If you don't get it for some reason in a week, just call InsMark and let us know, and we'll get it to you, put you on the email list. For some reason it can get to you. An email isn't a perfect science. And then the second question, I'm sorry, what was the second question?
Is there a time frame for the 20-pack before it expires? And does the time frame start from the moment you start a particular business, or is it for the whole 20-pack? Have the same expiration date, or is there no expiration date?
Yeah, that's a great question. Go ahead, John.
So what happens when you purchase the 20-pack? Each company has a 365-day life. So if you start a company today, you have 365 days on it. If you do your next company in a month, it has 365 days from that start date. Also, once the company runs through the 365-day life period, you'll be able to keep that company within your dashboard for $150 additional each year.
Okay. Okay, so your 20-pack doesn't necessarily expire. It's just each individual business.
Correct. Yeah. There's not an expiration date on the 20-pack. Each company has an individual expiration date, and it's 365 days from the time you enter.
And you can run as many different scenarios as you'd like for that business?
You can run, 10 a day for 365 days if you like.
Okay.
And then the other, the $29.95, the $3,000, and then if you put in InsMark, you get 5% off. That's good anytime.
Yeah.
that they're doing now, the 2246, that is good until what, John? Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern next week, or what time?
It'll expire. Yep, it'll expire 5 o'clock Eastern time next Friday.
Okay.
So, I mean, we would love.
John?
Well, I'm very much like the gentleman that said earlier, kind of looking to break into some of this type of business, and so the LinkedIn workshop would be great in terms of just learning off others for some mailing pieces or any type of marketing type scenarios or ideas. So I appreciate your time in answering my questions.
Totally agree with you.
Thanks so much for attending.
Thank you.
Next person is Gary Sipos.
Yes, I just had a question on, you mentioned that you could get a certified business value from one of your gentlemen there, and I was just wondering how much is that? And sorry, I was a little bit late, so I might have missed that answer if you already answered it.
Yeah, the prices vary depending upon the speed that you need them. You know, you could run through BizEquity.com, and all that information is right there. Anyone who is looking for information on the certified valuation that will be done by the foremost expert in the space, Scott Gabehart, please go to BizEquity.com.
Okay, well, can you just, I don't know if you can give me like a high, low, middle, or is that just so too difficult to answer?
I'd rather not. I'd rather not discuss that because I don't know what you're looking for when you're looking for it, but all the information is available through BizEquity.
Okay, great. I'll look through there. And
thanks so much.
Great. Well, I'll look forward to the LinkedIn, I guess, group. That sounds very useful.
Thank you.
Scott, do you still have a question? Scott Clevenger.
No, I think you can go to the next person, Julie.
Okay. Scott Clevenger. You're unmuted.
Scott, do we have you?
His phone line is open and active, but he may not be at his desk.
All right, let's go to the...
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Scott.
Okay, great. Yeah, so my question was, if a business owner has 6 businesses, then he has to have 6 365s or 3 of the 20 or 6 of the 20 pack, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Is there any thoughts about being able to have a person, if they have multiple businesses underneath them, to do some kind of another tiered pricing structure?
I think I don't think there's any thought, at least on our end, because it's so deeply discounted at the moment. But go ahead, John. I don't know if you guys do that.
Yeah, I understand. That's fine.
No,
we've made it so it would be, this price would be user-friendly to the advisors, and the other cost user-friendly to the small business owner. So, as of right now, we've gone with the individual and the 20-pack.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, one thing that we may want to think about, down the road is I know that sometimes you'll have business owners that have, let's say he owns 10 Burger King restaurants. He'll own each Burger King in a separate entity. But again, you could get consolidated financials. So that would solve that problem. And if you ran the consolidated financials through the InsMark Business Valuator platform, that would solve that problem. It's only if you have businesses that are not consolidated and are really operating in completely different areas that you would have to have one for each one. So anyway, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and I appreciate the other thing is, can you buy multiple 20-packs?
Absolutely. And, what happens with the 20-packs is, as I said, once you get through valuing 20 companies, you will be notified that, you're eligible for another 20-pack, and also, as you fill up your dashboard and the companies expire after 365 days, you'll have the option to keep them in your dashboard. If it's a client you're continuing to work with for $150, each year additional, you keep them on board.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the last person with the question. Anybody else has a question? That seems to be it.
Okay. Okay. Well, on behalf of InsMark and BizEquity, this is Don Prim. I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and we'll get that email out to everyone on the new LinkedIn study group for the InsMark Business Valuator, and wishing everyone a great weekend.